So welcome back to episode 5 of The Conscious Consumer. This episode is called How to Tackle the Reality. And that reality we set up in the last episode, which was the comfortable consumer is a difficult market that has to be tackled. So let's come back after the theme song and get into it.
Yeah. Oh.
The small business person, the big business person, the new business person, every business person has the same challenge. And that challenge is generating interest in what you are offering. The comfortable consumer, like I said in the last episode, is going to do what comes easy, what's quick. Unfortunately, they are the biggest market. So there has to be a way to get that comfortable consumer to become a better shopper. The big business, the new business, but more importantly, the small business, the people that I want to address. The small business has to become a content creator and an educator. Yeah, a content creator and an educator. So yeah, you have to do your own books. You have to create your own website. You have to do your own marketing. And you also have to add to it content creator, and you have to add to it educator. Think about it like this. If I want people to know about ARC Footwear, my shoe company, what I've done is I write about all footwear. My site literally has become like a haven of information on the sneaker industry. I write about new companies. I write about shoe releases. I write about big companies. I write about discounted items. I post training techniques. And what I've done is try to make my website a great source of information. Now, doing this, creating this content, basically allows my brand profile to increase, because now my logo is seen a little bit more often than it would be if someone was just searching for running shoes. The name of my company is seen a little bit more often. So this is almost the only way for you to compete, is by becoming a content creator and an educator. In order to tackle the comfortable consumer, you have to do this, because you can't outspend the bigger companies. You'll never be in more locations. So now, on top of creating content, your job is to become an educator, and you have to educate the customer. For instance, I've been using an example of Restaurant X. Restaurant X has to make a great take-home menu. And that menu has to detail the seasonings, how many calories. It has to kind of analyze the plates that are the most important plates that you sell the most of. It should focus on the products that you are creating, right? And also, Restaurant X has to have a website. I've seen on several occasions, locally, especially in Memphis, where there are restaurants that don't have websites at all. And that's a mistake, because if you don't have one, then you're in the same boat as all the other restaurants. And having a website offers you the opportunity to do what? Educate your customer. And you can create something like a meal of the month, right? And this item that you make, you can do a video post, which means that you can put it on YouTube. And then you can create a blog post and share it out to all of your social media. And that meal of the month, you're only going to make it available on every Friday and for 1 month. So you'll do meal of the month 12 months out of the year. And, that means that you'll have this one meal that you'll try out for 4 weeks, and not 4 weeks consecutive, but every Friday you're going to launch that meal. It's kind of like there's a restaurant here locally that does the Luther, the big burger with the donuts. And they only do it on the last Sunday of the month. And it gets this huge turnout and response, right? But they've basically educated their customer. Their website has a big, beautiful picture of that Luther burger, and it works out great. Now, you also have to do something a little different. If you're a smaller restaurant, that restaurant that makes that big burger is a little bit bigger than maybe the smaller restaurants that I'm kind of addressing as Restaurant X. You have to monetize every area in your shop. When people walk in the door, they should be able to take something home with them. So on your counter, if there's a seasoning that you use that's a really good seasoning, maybe package that seasoning up and drop it on the counter and make it available for people to take home and purchase, right? So why are you doing all of this work? Why are you doing all of this work to keep the customer? Well, like I said, the aware consumer knows what's going on. They're going to come and shop with you no matter what. But most of the consumers out there are comfortable consumers. This is the biggest aspect. When you're starting a business and you are educating the consumer and you're creating content, you also have to be where the consumer is, okay? And I don't want to dig too deep into that. I want to go into that a little bit later in the episodes, but by being where the customer is, you're able to teach the customer. Here's a quick word on ARC, my shoe company, and these are running a little longer than I hoped, but you know, I just want you to bear with me because it's important information. ARC, funny enough, my shoe company, when I'm standing face to face with someone, I can actually sell my shoe for the retail price. When I'm online, it requires a lot more education and a lot more reaching out. So I, in essence, hurt myself by simply being an online shoe company. As a matter of fact, I have to sell my shoe at half the price I sell it when I'm in person, when I'm online. Why am I bringing this up? Because you have to be where the customer is. If you are not where the customer is, you're going to hurt yourself in the long run. And I'm saying this because what happens most of the time when someone's talking about businesses, they'll tell you that you should focus on the customer you already have. And yeah, that's a great thing to do. But unfortunately, the customer you already have, if they are not telling a lot more people, then you're only going to have that customer. And that customer can't provide the support that you need to make it. You have to find a way to cater to the comfortable customer as well. That doesn't mean that your service is going to change to your consistent customer, all right? That customer will keep on coming to your store. But the comfortable consumer spends a lot more money and they tend to shop a lot more often. So you're going to have to teach that comfortable consumer so they'll understand why shopping at restaurant X or clothing store X matters. You have to educate that customer. That great menu for restaurant X needs to explain in a very simple sentence on the back of the menu somewhere that eating at restaurant X is sharing in your local city's story of hard work and producing quality food and great service. That same message goes with your regulars, the people who are always with you. And it also reinforces what they already know. So you don't lose your regulars because your regulars are the responsible and conscious consumer. See, I'm making a shift again to the conscious consumer. Finally, the comfortable consumer you still have to figure out how to get to. But that conscious consumer is always there. And because you're looking to gain the comfortable consumer, it doesn't mean that you're cutting off the responsible and conscious consumer. So the next episode, I'm going to try and explain how catering to the comfortable consumer helps to strengthen your relationship with the conscious and responsible consumer. If you like what's happening in this series, please share it. Make sure you subscribe down below. And I'll see you on the next go around. Not getting many questions, so we won't get into the questions and I'll be able to follow kind of my straight pattern of doing these videos. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Next episode. Peace.